Welcome to the world of book reviews. My guest tonight is Christoph J. Wyman. Did I say that right?
That's correct,
Good,
Judy.
all right. And he's written this wonderful book called The Customer Experience. And Christoph is a real expert in the field of customer service. We're really glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Tonight.
I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Tell me about the customer experience. Do you believe in that theory that every moment that a customer experiences is a moment of truth?
Absolutely. It can be, yes. Yeah, absolutely. It can be. We were just talking a moment ago about our friend Shep Hyken, who wrote the foreword to my book, and he talks about moments of magic and moments of misery. Mm-hmm. And actually in this book, I talk about something called touch points, which some of us know about and some of us don't. But it's every time there's an interaction with a customer, a client, a guest, whatever we term them in our industry, there is what's called a touch point. And we as service professionals, whatever that role or job may be, we have the opportunity, I say, to either positively or negatively affect their experience by our interaction with them.
That touch point can become either positive or negative, and like Shep says, a moment of misery or
Yes.
a moment of magic,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Now, a moment of magic happens when you almost don't even know it's happening because everything just goes right.
Seamless, right?
Yeah.
A seamless experience,
Yeah.
right?
But the misery is when everything goes wrong. Right?
And unfortunately, it seems that those are the ones that we remember and those stand out, and we know that word of mouth, somebody is going to tell 10 people about their negative, not so great, miserable experience, and they might tell 1 or 2 people about this wonderful experience mm-hmm. they had. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but that's why we really need to, what I do is I go in and I help companies elevate the quality of the customer experience, the quality of the customer service that they and their team deliver to their clientele.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what is lifetime customer value?
What is lifetime
Yeah.
customer value? I think for every company it's a different number, it's a different price point, but I think it's really priceless, right? Because if you think of each, in my first book, Getting to Wow, I actually have a chapter where I diagram out a couple that comes into a restaurant on a regular basis. And then maybe the husband comes 3 times a month for happy hour or to watch football games. Maybe the wife brings her book club there once a month. So when you extrapolate it out over a period of time, it's exponentially more than what that person or that couple or family is paying at that one experience. So you might think, oh, well, they're only worth, $80 they spent, but no. And then think of all their friends, mm-hmm. those 10 people that they're either going to tell about negatively or the 2 or 3 people that they're going to tell about positive experience.
So it adds up to a lot of money over
yeah.
a lifetime that one customer might bring into the organization.
Absolutely, regardless of what kind of business, you run
mm-hmm.
an auto repair shop, same thing, Everybody has to get their car fixed sometime, right?
Right.
So do you go to the one where they've treated you like you are special, like you are a valued customer, or where they just grunt at you when you walk in the door, right? They barely talk to you, they don't communicate with you, you feel like maybe I didn't get good value. I mean, and any business, and most of the time, we choose when we go to these businesses to patronize them, right? Mm-hmm. And my wife works in the hospital, so their customers are usually involuntary.
Yes.
Right?
But they are customers, even though they're patients.
They are customers, and they're involuntary in terms of they didn't choose to go to the hospital, mm-hmm. but they may have had a choice as to which hospital
right.
they would go. But they're not there because they said, hey, let's go see the doctor today. I just feel like going and getting checked out or something like that. But that's a different example.
There was a hospital I was in South Africa a few years back, and they actually called their hospital patients, they called them guests.
I love it.
And one of the things they do at night, right before you go to sleep, is they put a chocolate on your pillow.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was fun, to be there because they treated you actually like you were in a resort, and it was nice.
Interesting. I think that there's some value in that. I think that obviously they figured it out. I actually have an example in the book where one of my wife Michelle's friends that works at another hospital in actually in California said she had just finished going through a training with her peers where the customer service trainer said that their goal was to make the experience at the hospital like a trip to Disneyland.
Oh, I think that's
that's not
right.
congruent. Treating them as guests is correct, but when somebody's in a hospital, you don't want to turn that into an amusement park, right? And I understand what they were talking about was let's elevate the experience,
Yes.
let's take better care of them.
Right.
But to equate it and say we're going to make the hospital like Disneyland, I think that's not really hitting the mark.
I think maybe what they actually meant was they were going to use like the Disney philosophy, sort of a thing, but they brought it across.
Yeah, they explained it in a
incorrectly.
different way. Yeah,
We're going to have
exactly.
to take a quick break.
Okay,
Thank you for
perfect.
being with us, and stay here because we're going to come
I'm
right
here.
back.
I love it. Thank
we'll
you so much.
be right back with Christoph.
Thank you for calling Denim Revival.
Hate to say goodbye to your favorite jeans? Well, now you don't have to, because Denim Revival is here for you. Mail us your jeans and our professionals will fix it right up. We offer you all kinds of alteration services, including invisible repairs, let-outs, taperings, and original hemming, or even have your own custom-made jeans. Quoted the best denim repair shop by GQ, Vogue Magazine, and LA Times. Denim Revival, your search for alteration and repair ends here.
Love is the essence of beauty. And at Vegas Beauty Skin Center, we love what we do. Fall in love with your skin again. From our laser services to eyebrow threading and facials, everything we do at Vegas Beauty Skin Center is about helping you look your best. Come to Vegas Beauty Skin Center, where every client is number one. Call 702-722-6464. LVAC members receive 20% off all services.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. My guest for this segment is Christoph Wyman. He has written this wonderful book, The Customer Experience, and I just discovered something about this book, and that is that every chapter starts with a word. The word that starts the chapter title starts with an E. Isn't that interesting? It goes with experience, doesn't it?
Exactly. I didn't plan it that way, but as I was writing it, after about the fourth chapter, that was the kind of the continuity, and then I felt like, okay, I should follow through with this so that there's some kind of cohesiveness to the book.
And it really is. It's
Thank you.
good because I like the fact that you talk about empowerment. And tell us about that in the customer experience.
So here's something that I think a lot of times maybe business owners, business leaders may not always have in the forefront of their mind is that, we're always talking about the customer, and the customer is the end user of our product or service, but our first customer is our employees,
Yes.
right? And if our employees don't feel empowered, if they're not trained, if they're not given the tools that they need, then it's very difficult for them to deliver this standard of excellence, there's another E, that we are putting upon them or expecting from them. So it's super important that we provide training for all of our employees, and then we also empower them with the tools that they need, and not just giving them a task and kind of send them out on their own and good luck, you'll do a good job, I've got your back, but really providing what it is that they may need. And of course we're talking in generalities, but this is across the board for any industry, any kind of business, small, medium, or large. Employee empowerment is so important, which leads to engagement. You cannot you can't be successful in engaging your customers if you don't have a team that feels engaged.
Yes.
87% of employees in the United States today feel disengaged. Some people, I've had these conversations with a number of people who said, oh, well, that's the owner's fault, that's the leader's fault. I think it's both. I really think it's the employee's fault. If you're coming to work disengaged, there's something wrong with what your mindset is, your attitude. And then, yes, part of it is incumbent upon the leader to provide an atmosphere and an environment where they are feeling empowered. But I think it actually resides on the shoulders of both the employee and the leader or the owner.
I do too.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I found in doing customer service training is that there's always this one employee that's like super outstanding. They give the best service you've ever seen in the whole life.
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
But what's funny is the other employees resent that person.
I think that happens a lot. You know, often, so you're always going to have A players, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to have a small percentage that they don't need extra training, they don't need extra coaching, they're self-motivated, self-initiated. But if they are not given maybe a leadership role, then they're going to stand out as an island and be separated from the rest of the team. So there has to be some cohesiveness, and there has to be a way of bringing them together. And bringing up, so I worked at a restaurant and I was the best. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying you're the best.
No,
I was
not
the best.
if you were.
Right. But I would rather not have been the best. I would rather have been on a team with a bunch of B+ players instead of, you know.
Yeah, to have everybody be at a very
right,
high level.
Let's raise the standard so that we're all aspiring to a certain level of greatness. And then the cream is always going to rise to the top, right?
Right. It is. But you know, a lot of companies, when they cut their budgets, one of the first things they cut is their customer service training.
If they ever had it.
Yeah, if they ever had it, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just find that to be
it's
disappointing.
Sad. It is disappointing. It's discouraging. You know, we're in the age of digital marketing and social media marketing. Super important to bring in new leads, new blood into the business, right? And people are always talking about how important marketing is. But I think that oftentimes we forget that customer service goes hand in hand with that. People have said that marketing is the lifeblood of your business. Fantastic, great phrase, great way to look at it. I would then say, I used to say, well, then the customer service is the oxygen. You can't live without the lifeblood, you can't live without the oxygen. Somebody gave me a different idea and they said, actually, customer service is the heart that pumps the blood.
Yes.
I said, that's even better. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
And sometimes we think that we need to spend money, you know, all of our marketing, all of our budget goes to marketing and advertising, but then you haven't trained your team to deliver an exceptional experience to your clientele. So they're not coming back. So we got to bring in new people every time instead of letting those people that love your service, love what you do for them in such a way that they're out there raving about you. They're your unpaid marketers. They're the ones who are bringing people back into your place of business. Say, hey, you have to go see this woman, this person, this business owner, because what they do and how they take care of you is amazing and it's extraordinary. They make you feel special, and I gladly give my money for the product or service that they provide for me.
Exactly. And I read somewhere that it's 5 times more expensive to get a new customer than to keep an old one.
Than to maintain the current ones,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
5 times more
5
expensive.
times more.
And yet, so many businesses don't pay attention to that detail.
I have a simple phrase. I say 5 stars equals 5 R's. So what does that mean? Deliver 5-star service and you will reap 5 R's. Repeat customers, referrals, positive reviews, positive reputation, and revenue.
That's wonderful. Let's end on that because that's so powerful.
Thank you.
And would you tell my viewers how they can get a copy of your book
Sure.
and how they can get in touch with you in case they want some customer service training in their business?
Absolutely. So my name is Christoph J. Wyman, and my website is christophjwyman.com, which I believe is going to be flashed up on the screen, or even make it more simple, aspire2wow.com. That's the word aspire, number 2, wow.com. And yes, I would love the opportunity to have a consultation and see if we can bring value and be of service to you and your team.
Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited, and I just love the opportunity to be on your show.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back in just a moment.